Hey guys, happy day today. I'm wearing my glasses because I know a lot of YouTubers do this all the time. You know, they also drink a lot too, take drinks and sip and stuff. I don't have anything around to do that, but maybe I'll practice. I got some fruit. Maybe I'll eat a piece of fruit. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at today, I made some pretty stiff claims on my last thing. About religion, and it's really basically because of the way the Bible has been read that causes this problem, and it was forced on everybody. I claim that it's a Stockholm syndrome type of thing. Because we were actually not we, but perhaps if we were incarnated and stuff like that. But our ancestors were forced into this. This was a type of control put on them, and if they didn't do it, it's like ISIS today. Cut them off. Throw the faggots off the roof, shit like that. It was that kind of control device, a thought police even, and it still is to this day. Religion or people of the day, what do they call them, apologetics, the Jew people, they say that, they killed, this is symbolic stories. In reality, what would be considered, the people of, Ham or whatever, the Sodomites, these people of the valley that they talk about, this is all about the lower mind, the left side of our brain, and it's the low end of things. It's the plain, it's the forest, it's the low-lying areas, and in the stories, everyone starts off from there, some kind of a conflict. And their way out is to, basically, trick this thing, trick it. There's always a trick involved, Brings to mind like Jacob is tricked, he tricks his brother and takes his inheritance, It's a neat story. Let's see, Samson gets his hair cut off, it's a trick. Jesus is betrayed by Judas, these Abraham and Sarah pretends to be his sister, instead of his wife, and goes into Egypt, and tears the place up, because she represents, the divine side of us, when the divine side interjects with the lower mind, it just cleans house, it's her job. And because we tricked her into this, we tricked him into taking this from her, and that's where it means that, that the female is submitting, and if you take that literally, then women become second-class citizens to the male, So, and that's the way it's done. That's what they did, Another trick, I already told you about the queers, if you want to be a queer. It hasn't to do what you put into your mouth or anything like that. It's really your connection with God, and the Mandela effects, go to show that the new Bible really kind of favors gay guys, but in reality it always has. Somewhere in Matthew 19 or Matthew something, wherever, they're talking about eunuchs. A eunuch, there's three kinds of eunuchs, and even gay friends that I know, when I tell them, you were a eunuch, they get all offended, like, oh my God, I said, well, shit, fire, man. You're queer or fag or this or that, but at one time in our world, they were called eunuchs, and it was people that didn't procreate, and they narrowed it down to three kind of people because, they were legal people, these people, they weren't sheep. People weren't, like they are now, but even then, we had paperwork, So to become like a eunuch, you were either like giving yourself up to God, like you're a priest, or a nun or something like that. You're giving yourself up, so you just don't do it. The other thing would be that they were cut off, and you were made this man. You were mutilated, maybe at birth, or a kid, or an animal, or something got a hold of you, or whatever, but that made you, unable to procreate, and then they said there's these natural guys, You know, these people that were born naturally out of their mother's womb. And this is Jesus talking about this. But you don't hear anyone preaching about this. That was in the Bible before all the changes happened and all that crap, you know. So you would realize that, you know, to take something literally, like the writer Paul says, the alleged writer, you know, that Paul says, you know, if you don't, not to read by the letter, you know, that if you were going to, is it Paul? I think it was John. Maybe it's John. But if you, I'll have to go and do some research. The Apostle Paul, there's the one. That's the one. He says not to minister things by the letter, and that means at face value, because he says it kills. You know, and there's these things in our Bible called dark sayings, and I'll use one because a dark saying is like, you know, like break a leg. You know, it's kind of mean, but it means to go in, you know, oh, you know, I have a great time, tear them up, you know, break a leg. You know, also means it's some kind of theater term where your leg actually comes on stage, you know, when you make your first appearance, you know. Chewing the fat, you know, you could literally be chewing the fat of some kind, but, you know, it really means it's a conversation term, and, you know, they're like shooting the bull. You know, if you take that literally, you're going to go out and shoot something, you're going to kill something. That's called dark language. And one of the Psalms, it talks about how God speaks in a parable, and that he utters dark sayings of old, you know, that their grandfathers and grandfathers all spoke of and know. Well, we're not privileged to those things, but I can give you one right off the bat, and that has to do with spare the rod, spoil the child. And immediately that means like a God-given right to abuse your kids. You know, let's give some discipline. Oh, we all know we need some discipline, but here God's telling you to spare the rod. It's like that's to beat him, you know. There's so many other ways to teach people, children, and what have you, but it's a meditation term. The rod is the backbone. You know, what sustains us is our backbone. And if you bring kids to Jesus, or get to this Jesus, to this story, to this way, and they learn how to meditate at a young age, you're bringing them into them already, you know. On the outside, you indoctrinate these kids into their father. Look at what God, Jesus' father did to him. Tossed him under the bus and tortured and murdered this guy so that you can get some love out of him. And it's like, what, you know, he's talking to kids, you know, but, you know, if you tell them that, you know, these stories are symbolic, and it shows that if you could learn to shut down the outside skin of you, your outside, that you can go and you can meet this energy, you know, in spirit, and that it really is good for you to take this kind of a break from the flesh and join the Father for a little bit. It's like the prodigal son, come home, you know, he's been lost, you know, while you've been down there in the lower, feeding from the lower and enjoying yourself as a whore, pimping yourself out, turned into a slave, you know, this is you. You're the Pharaoh. You're the guy that's caught you into all of this. You don't need to get, wee. That's the monkey on my shoulder. Leave it alone. Well, anyhow, we got to make some long story short. If you're going to learn what's going on with this Mandela effect, is that our physical bodies, everything that's physical in our lives, you know, is really vibration of some kind, and it takes our eyes and ears, whatever these things are, to develop these things. Even what we see is upside down, you know. So what you have to think about is that what they call the lower layer of consciousness is called beta conscious. It's earth conscious in Greek cosmology, and most all of the myths are written off of this form. It's a construct of writing that allows you to hide something inside it, you know. And this is not so unknown. They did this during World War I, World War II. They still do it. It's cryptic, you know, where certain things mean something, and that's the way this Bible was written, you know. You take the outside of it, that's the skin of things. That's the outside. That's the devil side. That's the lower conscious side, because you're supposed to pass through that into the meat of it, where it is, the spirit of the letters, you know. So anyways, again, what Apostle Paul was saying, that's the way you're supposed to minister it. And, you know, one kills and one saves, you know. And so anyways, of these frequencies that are available to us, you know, right now at the lower frequency, the lowest ones, you know, actually create the color red, all right? And that's the lower chakra in our body as well, all right? And so things manifest. This is earthly colors. You know, I'm an artist. I teach these things. You know, I know these things. But the earthy browns and reds and all this is the lowest things. And we manifest in this reality. It's all the solidness in us and the outside of us matter. Everything. There's only 10% of that out there in the world. You know, they look with the Hubble telescope and it still comes out to 10% matter and the rest is void. Well, that void is called the darkness and dark matter, and a lot of people think that's negative, but it's not, because God is in that dark spot. God is actually in everything, but more into the empty, because matter belongs to someone else. That belongs to his counterpart. And so, you know, let's get real quick on this. Let me go through those ranges, those frequencies real quick, all right? Beta, gamma, theta, and delta. Boom, 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 all right? Greek cosmology calls it earth, water, air, and fire. And of course, when you go up all of these lists, it just opens up the crown chakra and brings, it's like this big dish shows up, you know, and you pick up all this cool stuff from thin air. You know, this is the angel part of it, the angle of light, the photon, the messenger particle. You know, that's what God is. And you don't have to know it or see it, and you can't. You're going to be in spirit. You have shut yourself down. You know, you're on your cross. You're on your backbone. You're holding out in your meditation. And you've made it up there to the Lord, and you're in His world now, and you talk to Him as a spirit. And when you do this, you don't remember none of it. That's the thief in the book. You know, you come down, dang, you know, no fireworks, no shit, man, you know, damn. Where's the Lord in all that? Well, that's what it is. You never know it. If anyone talks to you and you say, I'm the Lord, someone says, bring him into your, no. These things happen inside, and we're not even privileged to them. You know, so be it that you know you got your own connection to God. You know, that's the only thing to get pissed off at me about. You can't have God in you. You're not worth it. I am worth it. I'm totally worth it. And why would my God, why would my Lord, why would my Father be disconnected from me? Why? He wouldn't. And I be from Him. But I was for quite a few years. And there's no way I would give up this connection to give it to someone else to take care of my spirituality. It just doesn't work that way. Alright, so anyways. God is a two-part system. It's like the yin and yang. You know, it's night and day. It's all these things that are connected. It's a polarity thing where He says, I am the creator of both good and evil, light and darkness. He does it both. So God is plural. Male, female, Elohim. Alright? Plural. There's two of them. Make them in our image. Alright? So anyhow, what that winds up being is the both sides of our brain. We have the lower conscious, which is the beast side of us, you know, and then we have the higher conscious, which is the higher side of us. This is the kingdom of God, all right? Along with the kundalini, which is the energy of the body. What's above is below. You know, even the astrological signs. You know, start up Aries and Taurus. You know, Gemini, all the way down to our feet. Pisces. We got it all. It's all in here. Everything is up there, and it was programmed way before any New Age shit ever came alive. This is from the Bible, even. Alright? So, what you're seeing here is that God represents a scale that's on the same line as the kind of brighter. This is as the red is the lowest where we are as matter. This is the kingdom of earth. This belongs to Satan. All right, symbolically the flesh. And as each frequency goes up, you get the yellow and the orange and the green and the blue, and then it just almost disappears. And that's what it does do, because this is the higher side, and it's beautiful, and it's light. God is light. All right. So what happens is that creates the same spiritual energy of the Kundalini from going from the lower to the higher, and you have to shut the lower off, and all of these switch over from the negative male side to the positive female side. That's why always these females are involved in these stories, like Lot, making it up to the top and getting raped, made drunk, and then raped by his daughters. That's the combination of the mind and the female side, coming together, and that's what they're asking for. It's our emotional sides and our spiritual side, this feminine energy. And it's not so terrible to look at it like that. It's just electrical. So the idea is that we have these 4 frequencies made to us, but the ones that belong to this devil, to our skin, is the lower one, and that's beta. So as Mandela effect goes on, it's the physical part around us that's changing. Whether we've been transported here or transported there, or mind fucked here, but listen, they're not doing it to our minds. Our minds are in these higher places. Our flesh isn't. So you say, oh, my heart's now in the middle, and this and that, and everything's changed. Well, that's matter. All these things are matter, and this belongs to the devil. So, if it belongs to this lower thing, that's man manipulating stuff, okay? You want to go supernatural and say it's these. Maybe you can manifest these monsters. Maybe you can. I've not seen one, but I'll tell you, like Moses did in his story. He says he threw down his staff, right? That means, and it turned into a serpent, and it gobbled up the other 2 that the lower conscious made. Just gobbled. That's the devouring the devourer. And another story is like when John the Baptist is seen eating locusts, devouring the devourer, and that's what we're taught to do by doing this, by cheating the side of us, tricking us one side of us into this, and then we go inside and we send this child up to do this battle for us. And it's kind of interesting, it happens inside of us, and all we do is reap the rewards that come out of having a fresh and renewed mind. And melatonin, running through the body, killing cancer cells and stuff like that. This might be that manna from heaven they talk about. But, all that parting of the Red Seas and all that crap is all about our emotions. And so that's the other side. I'm going to tell you about this devil side. If we have a Baphomet, and I kind of drew, I didn't know if I was going to show you this. I don't know if it would even show up, but I've got a drawing of this Baphomet. But everybody can pretty much remember him because, they flash it out all over the place. And I ain't got no fancy graphics to show you anyway. But basically what it is that's a symbol of us. That's you and me. That's you and me in the flesh. We're the 666. We're the beast. That's the fleshy side of us. It's got the female thing going on because it represents both our sexes. All right? It's not divided. All right? He represents the carnal mind. And the carnal mind is not subject to the laws of God. You understand? We have to trick him. That's why we call it stoning the devil. We get him stoned, really good weed, that motherfucker passes out and he's gone. No, it's not like that. You don't need drugs or anything to make this voyage, all right? It's an inside thing. But he's got some interesting things on him. I believe as a Mandela effect that the pentagram that's on his head used to be upside down, and now it's upside up. He's now representing what is above, but he's supposed to be representing our skin, which is what is below. And that means that pentagram should be turned upside down. Okay, the 5 points, 5, the skin, and the number of the devil. All right? So It's also the number of Earth. So he's got our lower mind, he's got the lower conscious, he's got beta conscious locked up, and he's got the Earth involved with it as well. This is one happy marriage of his, and it was given to him. This is the way it is. All right? We can't live without it. All right? But we can get a little too much. And we've been tricked out of this other side that kind of clips this thing's horn somewhat. But anyways, let's keep talking about this. It is red with emotions. God, on the other hand, has no emotion. He doesn't have any of the male or female traits like our human traits. He doesn't have nose. He can't talk to you, can't slap you or anything, and he can't hurt you. He's all in love. This other dude, he can do all those things. Slap you, kick your ass, all kinds of shit, That's what he does. That's his job. All right, so stop getting mixed up. Learn to fix them in the right spots. It's very important. So you'll see that God's area in our minds, our memories, are not being affected. They can't mess with them. Only this lower conscious is being screwed around with. This part of us that is outside, that is actually physical, is being manipulated. This Baphomet has a caduceus on him. Now, you'll see that if you were going to Hindu or Buddhist and stuff like that, the caduceus goes all the way up and it creates, 7 chakras. And you'll also find that in his caduceus, it only goes up to the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. And in our Bible, these are called the 7 churches, all right? And so, Jesus is mad at this one, Jesus is mad at this, but the lowest one is, is the root. And on him, it's his balls, it's his scrotum, and it's just perfect. So, he's in charge of the lower 3 chakras. And this is where these people that say that, the single eye is like, the demon of everything, no, this is not. This is the only way you kill him, because you turn this thing on and these guys shut down. You stone the devil and he's gone. That's why they're telling you that it's bad to do. Because this bad guy, they're ruling everything. They don't want you to go to this other side. And your mind doesn't want to do it either. Just by itself. You can't shut that damn thing down. Just constantly boom, 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 boom. Won't leave it alone. Dum, 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 dum. Give me some break. Dum, 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 dum. Bring, 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 bring. Dum, dum, dum. This is the truth. So, anyway, so you're seeing how this works, so you hold on to your minds, because that's the only thing that's keeping you. That's the real you. This outside ain't, makes all... We're noticing now that nothing is even cared. All those wonderful memories and things that help build us and stuff like that mean nothing to these things, So they're leaving us to our own. So hold on to these things. Maybe it'll all be over with, they'll patch it up. But this is a stupid change. To think that a mass computer, some artificial intelligence is making this beautiful thing going on. There's nothing beautiful to it at all. Every one of the changes are as sophomoric and retarded as I could possibly imagine. And the Bible changes, oh my God, what a dark situation we have there. Anyways, it seems like a disgruntled employee is loose and in this, Matrix headquarters for us. And we'll just wait and see what's happening, It also could have been like they were trying something and they fucked it up, And so, don't worry about not seeing it or something like that, I think that it's too late. We're already the mice in this petri dish. It's too late. So, all we can do is troubleshoot this for them. Show them all the holes in their webbing, so they can go and patch them and fix them, use us as the guy to go and do this, that's what we're doing. But that's how it all works with this stuff. So you hold on. And let's stop complaining about these other guys that say, this is the way it is. Well, that's the way it is with them. Just let it be that, And just ask, can we both exist in the same time? Can we please? I ain't got no place else to go. Alright, so I got so many more things to tell you about, so I'm going to get this gone. I don't think they'll even let me upload. It's too long. Alright, I'll chat with you later. Have fun. Peace.